Like, is it necessary to adjust any long-term portfolio stock for the 2023 anticipated downturn? Depends what your time horizon is, Bert. I mean, a lot of the stocks that I added in my long-term portfolio this year, some of them are lower than where I added them, but the ones that I really, bought bigger pieces of are all up significantly from where we bought them. There's a couple of like the higher growth tech names that I bought tier one positions in, fully expecting them to go lower where I can buy more. Whenever I add in my long-term portfolio, I'll do a tier one entry, which is like taking a small little nibble. When I do that, I fully want and expect the stock to go lower so I can buy a bigger piece. I'm just doing that so that just in case it doesn't go lower, I at least own some. And if it's a long-term position, like if you plan on holding it for the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years, I don't really care if I buy a stock at 120 and then it goes to 90, because if I believe the stock's going to be at 350 in 5 years, it doesn't really matter if you buy it at 120 or 90. The answer is no, it doesn't. So what I do is I scale into my long-term portfolio positions. I don't try to pick the exact bottom. I did my selling in 2021. In 2021, at the end of last year, I sold my long-term portfolio. I raised a lot of cash. I did it very publicly on YouTube. I told members of the trading group that I was selling in my long-term portfolio when everything was at all-time highs. Now what I'm doing is I'm not worrying about selling again. That was the first time I sold really in my long-term portfolio in the last 10 years. So that was a big deal for me when I did that. But this year, I've been starting to get that cash back into the markets. 3,800 and 3,600 on the S&P is where I added. And then 3,400, 3,300 is going to be my next add, is what I'm going to be looking for. All right. And that I think happens next year. So Bert, I'm not trying to sell in December and then buy back. And I'm going to trade the movement, and I'm just going to add in my long-term portfolio when the market sells off. That's just for me because I have a very long-term time horizon. So that's just me personally, what my plan is.